Hi, everyone. I'm Steve. I'm here with Dr. Jake Covert. Thanks for being here, Doc.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so we're going to talk about people trying to lose weight, the importance of exercise, the importance of diet, your nutrition. What's the most important? How do you combine the two? Um, and they're both really important. Um, I think one is, well, I'm not going to say one is more important than the other, but I do think that one has a bigger effect than the other. Certainly not more important. But anyway, if you guys are interested in our weight loss program, use the QR code on the screen or the link in the description. And if you're interested in interviews with doctors, nutritionists, and personal trainers, subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell so you know that when we post a new video. So I'll let you go first. I know that you're a chiropractor and also a certified personal trainer, and you do a lot. I know that the exercise, and you're in the gym. You're in Parkway Athletic Club South in Reno. That's where your office is. And that's where you see people. So you incorporate what your clients are doing. You incorporate the gym with what they're doing. So go ahead. What are your thoughts on exercise and nutrition?
Yeah, so exercise is, we've talked about it many times before. Exercise is just so important to incorporate and to begin a daily habit with that. In terms of weight loss, exercise versus diet. Like you said, both are very important, but in terms of moving the needle more, I do think diet, a good sustainable diet, is going to be moving the needle more in that sense because, even if you just look at a lot of the habits that Americans have. Like, let's take Starbucks for an example. If you go get a grande, it's fall now, pumpkin spice latte over at Starbucks, you're looking at 40 to 60 grams of sugar for a drink that you could finish in
Yeah. How
about
many
10 minutes.
calories?
Exactly. And so, if you look at it in that sense, there's a lot of low hanging fruit, I think you could call it, for in terms of diet that would be very effective at just reducing your total daily calorie intake.
You know, I think this is really important. And I would say a couple things. And I agree with you. If you're obese or you're really overweight, you've got to really focus on the diet. Because if you don't eat right, you can lift weights till you're blue in the face. You can exercise till you're blue in the face. If you don't eat right, you're not going to make progress. If you're eating donuts and sugar and candy and bad food, processed foods, you what's that saying? You can't outrun a bad diet, something like that.
Yeah, and
But
it's
here's
funny.
the thing: when you're losing weight, especially if you're not lifting weights, you are losing some muscle, and every pound of lean tissue is precious. So, in the long run, exercise has got to be incorporated. And as you get your diet dialed in, that the lifting weights, the resistance exercise is what is going to keep your metabolism going. If you can, you want to gain lean tissue, not lose it. And so when you're losing body fat, it's really hard especially if you're not lifting weights, you're going to lose some lean tissue. That's why lifting weights specifically, in my opinion, is the most important form of exercise. Because as you're dieting, as you're losing weight, now, if you're really obese, you're still probably going to lose a little lean tissue if you're not lifting weights. But if you're just a little bit overweight and you're not losing weight, you could lose a significant amount of lean body weight. And a lot of these people with these weight loss drugs, that's what's happening. They're losing lean tissue. So you have to be lifting weights, especially if you're looking at your health in the long run. I'm seeing a lot of videos from influencers and doctors and research on muscle is connected to your longevity, your health in the long run. The more you have, the better your brain is going to work. The more powerful your legs are, the better everything's going to work. And this is interesting. Muscle tissue sucks up glucose. So you think about it, if your muscle is sucking up glucose, why? Because you're using your muscles by lifting weights. It has to take the energy and pull it into the muscle cell for more energy. What does that do? It stabilizes your glucose, your insulin, everything works effectively because of the muscle tissue. So in the long run, you want to, and almost, I would almost say must, put lean tissue on for your overall health.
No, 100%. I think you hit that right on the head. And I mean, and I think you brought up a good point in saying, even just in terms of glucose, blood glucose metabolism and regulation, resistance training is one of the most effective ways to do that. Even if you look at your cholesterol, one of the only ways to naturally increase your HDL cholesterol is resistance training, which is a really neat concept. And so, no, in terms of resistance training, it's one of the most effective forms of caloric burn. In terms of just daily health benefits, because like you said, every ounce of lean tissue is precious. So that is something that you really need to make sure that you stay on top of. And I mean, the diet, yeah, like you said, the diet is a key component that you need to add on to that. But with a lot of people, if you are severely overweight, it is important to kind of get that. And there's a lot of easy things that you can do in terms of that. And I think you brought up another good point in terms of the weight loss drugs. That is a huge boom right now in terms of usage of that. I see a lot of people taking these, and yes, they're effective. But I mean, you're taking them for how many months? And then as soon as you're done, you're putting all that weight back on and some. And not only that, you're gaining more than you were before with less lean tissue. So you're worse off than where you started.
Yeah, for sure. Um, the lean body mass, the muscle is so important because, you know, muscle tissue is expensive. What do I mean by that? It costs calories. Muscle tissue burns calories. Well, that's a faster metabolism. And that's what I mean when I say muscle tissue is expensive. And the more you have, the more expensive it is in a good way because you have to eat more to sustain it. And you got to keep your protein up. Well, guess what? When you get to that point and you keep increasing that lean tissue, it's easier and easier to burn fat. It's easier and easier to maintain your health because of what the lean tissue is doing. It's almost like you're reversing aging. For every pound of muscle you put on, you're kind of reversing aging, don't you think?
Yeah, you're definitely increasing your lifespan. And I mean, just at the end of the day, prioritizing protein, prioritizing lean mass, they're going to be so effective for your long-term health. And so yeah, the resistance training will come, but yeah, it's definitely a key factor that you need to focus on.
Right now, I'm you kind of said this at the beginning, and I don't think we should minimize this. How important your diet is. Because your diet, what you eat, what you put in your mouth is probably 75 to 80% of your results. Because if you can be lifting weights and doing everything right in the gym, but if you don't have your protein right, if you don't have your calories right, if you're eating the wrong foods, your weight training is not going to be effective and you're not going to gain lean tissue and you're not going to burn body fat. So that's a big part of your results. And that's what I've heard my whole career in owning health clubs and being in the fitness business. It's about 75 to 80% of your results come from what you eat. What do you think about that?
No, you definitely hit it. And I mean, the exercise itself is actually one of the smallest portions of caloric burn in your entire day. And your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, which is associated with the amount of lean tissue that you have and just essentially the calories that your body needs to burn just to survive, that's going to be the biggest portion of your caloric burn daily. And so, the exercise is a small component, very important. But I mean, when you look at the food, you're even burning calories from eating food. I mean, just if you just talk about the thermogenesis effect of the different types of food that you eat with protein, for example, if you were to eat 20 grams of protein and 20 grams of carb, it's more expensive for your body to eat the 20 grams of protein because it just costs more for your body to be able to metabolize and store it. So, I mean, in essence, you can essentially, well, granted, that amount of protein is going to be somewhat negligible, but in essence, you can actually burn more calories by just prioritizing protein just from the thermogenic effect of digesting food.
Yeah, but again, we cannot minimize the importance of resistance training because the resistance training is going to multiply your results. Again, if you just eat right, you're going to be kind of skinny fat. And you, if you want your brain, your legs, everything to work better, your metabolism, 1 pound of muscle is precious. Put it on. And to put it on, you have to do resistance training. So we don't want to minimize, you know, the results that you get from weight training either, because lifting weights is just like piling on a good diet. It's piling on and it's making it better and better. So, and so important, get in the gym and start lifting weights. It's very important. So any last thoughts, Doc?
No, I think you hit it on the head. Just get into the gym, focus on a whole foods, unprocessed diet. And I mean, if you're and biggest thing too, I know a lot of people, it's hard for them to get in the gym when you've never been in that scene before. And I think it's crucial to give it a try. There's so many resources out there that can help you with that. You have your personal trainers at the gyms, you have the even just the little descriptions on the machines at the gym. So I mean, I know it may be hard to get into the gym and to actually start that process, but there's a lot of resources that can help you out with that. And so prioritizing that is going to be very crucial for your long.
Yeah, and I would just say, don't be afraid of the gym. Most people in the gym are overweight. Most people. If you go in and you look, and many people are obese in the gym, but they're in the gym and good for them. But don't be afraid. So many people say, well, I got to get fit before I go into the gym. At least half the people in the gym don't look fit. They're probably, hopefully, more fit than they look, but they're overweight. Just get in there, you know, join the club. So, Jake, if people want to follow you online or they want to reach out to you and find out what you're doing, how do they do that?
Yeah, my Instagram and social media are atlaschiropractic.us. And then they can also email me at info@atlaschiropractic.us.
All right. Thanks for being with us, Doc.
Thanks for having me.